Hello. So you'll remember how we told the story of the way in which God provided the sacrifice with the ram caught in the bushes. And as a result of that, obviously, Isaac grew closer and closer to his father over the years that followed. So here's the next few parts of the story. Again, as told, of course, by David Kossoff. You can imagine, can't you, that Isaac was all the closer to his father after that experience on the mountain, and to his mother. He grew into being a handsome young man who adored and respected his old parents, and gently took over the reins of Abraham's huge cattle business. When Sarah tentatively hinted at marriage, Isaac would chuckle and call her a marriage broker. And where, he would say, would I find a wife like you, mother? When Isaac was 27 years old, his beloved mother died, and he and Abraham bought some land just north of Beersheba for a burying place, and there old Sarah's body was laid to rest. Abraham mourned a long time and came to lean more and more on Isaac. The Bible tells us that Abraham died at a good age, full of years, and when he died, Isaac's twin sons were 15 years old. Their names were Jacob and Esau. A lot had happened in those years. Rebekah had waited a long time to be a mother, nearly 20 years, and after his marriage, Isaac had moved nearer the coast to a place called Gerar, where his old father too had lived for a time. And like his father, Isaac was in the cattle business. And like his father, he became rich. So rich that people started to get jealous. Some of the Gerar people, who were called Philistines, a nasty lot, we'll hear a lot more about them, they took to blocking up his wells. So Isaac and Rebekah moved on. No small job with thousands of head of cattle and sheep and big staff. They tried a number of places, but the Philistines kept turning up with their well-blocking tricks. Eventually, they came back to Beersheba. The Philistines had filled in the wells there since Isaac's childhood, so it was all to dig again. But Isaac was fond of that place, and that night he prayed extra hard. He told God that if he could see his way clear to give them all a bit of peace, it would be so acceptable. Rebekah, he told God, is miserable enough about being childless, let alone the Philistine business with the wells. God listened and said to Isaac, all right, Beersheba, this place, make your home here. There'll be no more trouble with the Philistines. Leave it to me. So there they settled, Isaac and his vast herds and flocks and huge household, and Rebekah with still no children. They'd been married nearly 20 years, but God had not forgotten, and one happy day Rebekah was sure she was going to have a child. Well, she didn't have an easy time. Towards the end of her pregnancy, she was feeling so rough that she said to God, if this is what I've waited so long for, I tell you, I don't think I can live through it. And God explained, although it didn't mean a lot at the time. But one point he cleared up right away. It's twins, he said. Poor Rebekah. And not just two babies, they will become two nations, two people. One will be stronger, and the other, the elder, shall serve the younger. Well, the prophecy part of what God said didn't disturb Rebekah much, although I'm sure she remembered it later on when the boys had their big quarrel. So Rebekah at last had her family, and everyone rejoiced for her. An odd thing happened, though, when they were born. It was said that the second twin was born gripping the heel of the first. In those days, such things were taken notice of, and people tried to work out what they meant. This omen had them all a bit puzzled. It could have meant that Jacob was tenacious, the kind that hangs on. Certainly that would have been proved right. He was the younger one by a minute, and that minute caused an awful lot of trouble. Out of that minute came strange and wonderful happenings, great promises from God himself. Double dealings, 2 clear cases of fraud, great anger and great forgiveness. But it all started because Jacob was younger than his twin by just 1 minute. Very different they grew up to be, the 2 boys, even in appearance. Esau was a powerful, muscular sort of boy, red-haired, not very clever, but active outdoors, a rough and tough kind of lad, not given to any deep thinking, not like Jacob, who was very thoughtful, very quiet. He stayed at home, and Rebekah, who hardly saw Esau except at mealtimes, found Jacob was good company, and they became very close indeed. We'll hear all about what happened to the brothers next time we meet. For now, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.